come to order. And salute the flag, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to acknowledge a declaration of a quorum. And I'm going to open it up to public comment. Who's first? Oh, that's right. Ben. Ben, yep. Ben's up. Ben Wilmot.
Is this on?
Button on the side, Dave.
Button on the side. Is this on? Okay. All right. Thank you. Dan Wilmot, live on Smith Station Road. Have lived in the township over 30 years with my family. I want to thank you, first of all, the township supervisors and the board and the people. My wife and I were very fortunate to move here into this township and raise our kids here. There's been a lot of good things about this township. Some things have been slipping, but in general, I want to thank you all for the work that you do. We showed what, at one point, what the supervisors, the compensation you get, and I couldn't believe how low it was. I'm all in favor. I know we can't raise that, but there should be more compensation if you're doing your job right. There's several things that I wanted to talk about, but you're only going to give me 3 minutes. So I typed up some of it. My wife is going to pass it out in case I run out of time here. It's not everything that I want to say. I'm going to focus mainly on the rec park. The rec park. When I helped build it, I helped put up the walls, put up the fences, helped build the dugouts. I was on the first rec board committee. We didn't really do much. But I had coached for Heidelberg Township. I've coached several sports, and not just in Heidelberg, for Hanover, for New Oxford, for Spring Grove at the high school level, all over the place. I've officiated sports. I just want you to know my interest here is in the kids. An investment in our children is an investment in our future because our children are our future. And that's my main motivation for being here right now. But I coached when we were coached Little League Baseball when we were using the field at Heidelberg Elementary, which is horrible. It was horrible. It's still horrible. We needed a rec park. We got that going. We built it. Nothing much has been done with it since then. So we started a rec board, and I was excited about being on this rec board. And we had some turnover of people. And I went to Tim and I suggested Jim Camilleri. He's a retired lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. I don't know him well. I work with his wife. I respect her. I respect him. And I figured he'd be a stand-up guy. He was a coach, and we should have a coach on the board. There was several other people that were suggested to be put on the board that were qualified. And Mike and Justin were appointed to the board. That's your boys. And why? I mean, how many times has Mike, even in the past year, been set foot on the rec park?
3 minutes, Dan.
That's 3 minutes.
That's it. We'll read your
That's,
statement.
oh.
Thank you. Next.
Can I just ask one question?
Sure.
All right, by show of hands, how many people do not want the board to be transparent and have accountability?
Okay, thank you. Next.
Wow.
Census map of 6,000.
Yeah.
I'm Peg Moulton, Laurel Woods. I'm also the Heidelberg Township representative for the Hanover Trolley Trail. Operation Committee, part of the York County Rail Trail Authority. So I give a monthly little update, and I'm happy to do that. It's kind of a nice segue because it's all about recreation, using our natural resources, providing spaces for people to enjoy, and I'm proud to announce that the largest section of the Heidelberg Trolley Trail, part of the York County Rail Trail, is in Heidelberg Township. As I've said before, it is completed from Gitz Run Road to Jacobs Mill Road. I've walked it several times since it was completed. It is absolutely gorgeous. And it's covered with snow right now, but I would recommend that all of you check it out when you get an opportunity. I also wanted to update you on the plans for the upcoming year. In the spring, either April or May, depending on the timing, we are going to have another community open house. The last one of these that we did was in January 2 years ago, and it was at the church on Megan's Mills Road. Some of you may have come there. It was in the snowstorm, but it was a great open house with the engineers, all of the people involved in planning and the development of the Heidelberg Trolley Trail. We're going to have another one of those this spring. It might be at what used to be the Windy Hill in Spring Grove, or it might be back at the church again, depending on the timing. You also probably already know that, thank you to the township, we have approval to proceed with the building of the parking lot off of Route 116. If you're not familiar with the location, it's approximately at the end of Smith Station Road, sort of between the two billboards that you can see. We do have all the funding. The scope of work and site plan has been approved in draft form. You can view that at the York County Rail Trail Authority. We did receive the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources grant for $700,000. The Marcellus Shale grant was also received. We are going to install an automatic gate as required by Heidelberg Township. And we are also exploring York County grant for the visitor, well actually we got money for the visitor kiosk, which will be right in the parking lot. It's going to give a lot of information about the trail. That part of this is a $1.4 million project, and the funding has already been received. Now I want to emphasize, none of this is through taxes, none of this is coming from Heidelberg Township money-wise. It's all through grants, private donations from multiple sources. So the next thing I wanted to let you know is that we anticipate that the parking lot will be completed by early fall of 2026. And when that happens, there will be a public grand opening, because we will be able then to welcome everybody. Okay, thank you very much. So I can answer any more questions, but I do have to scoot earlier than the end of the meeting.
Thank you.
Any questions for Pat? I have one.
No. Anybody? Okay, thank you.
Okay, when do you think they're gonna start on the parking lot?
Weather, as soon as the weather is. And we also have a grant,
We also have grant applications for the next section, which is from Jacobs Mill to Iron Ridge. So that's also simultaneously in the works.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I wasn't gonna get up, Pat Parrish, Fred, but I wanna finish what Dan was trying to say. I'll skip to the middle of the page and read what he was gonna say. He currently works for the Spring Grove Post Office. His regular route is almost exclusively in Heidelberg Township, except for new construction at one time or another. He's delivered every address in Spring Grove, Abbottstown, Benville, Hanover, Thomasville. He's also delivered many areas in New Oxford, Biddlestown. He's been a substitute teacher for Spring Grove School District for over 20 years. This is just to let you know he's familiar with the area. He's invested interest in Heidelberg Rec Park. He was on the original Rec Park board, also helped in construction of the Rec Park, helping build dugouts and putting up fences. He remembers going through 3 pairs of work gloves as they put the stones in the retaining wall. He has an associate degree in hotel and restaurant management, a bachelor degree in recreational leadership, and is certified to teach biology and general science in the secondary level. For 3 summers, he headed up a work crew that helped maintain Oakside Park in Biglerville. He's used a lot of I's so far in this letter, but it's not about him or his family. He's just trying to establish his motive for what he's about to say. His wife and him have been very pleased to be able to live, raise family, work, 10 Heidelberg Township. Things that have been forgotten by the township board is that for election after election, the township has been voting heavily Republican. Let me just remind you that most Republicans value their freedom. They don't mind paying reasonable taxes if they're being spent wisely, and don't want bigger government. Let me just remind you that every penny that the government collects from individuals is limiting their freedom by saying, we know how to spend your money better than you do. Let me just remind you that every time you enact an ordinance, law, or policy, you are limiting somebody's freedom. Let me remind you that every time you enforce an ordinance, law, or policy, you're limiting somebody's freedom. Democrats often want to cater to special interest groups. This has been noted many, many times in the news recently. For example, the Democrat shutting down the government for special interest groups. Republicans tend to pull for public interest. Democrats tend to want bigger government. Republicans tend to want more freedom. Township supervisors need to realize that they are not representing Republicans if they are needlessly raising taxes, not being transparent about expenditure, and catering to special interest groups rather than public interest.
Thank you, Pat, for doing that. That was beautiful. You guys are going to have to give us more than 3 minutes if you're going to continue accumulating attacks on our freedom at the rate at which you are. So in just 2 meetings, since you established your absolute majority, we have raised taxes. We have failed to provide any ideas about how to reduce the burden of government in our township, and now we have a resolution to limit our freedoms for the RTKs that are enshrined in Pennsylvania law. So it starts with 2026-02, which, by the way, is not on the website. Now, I've been told that that's just a mistake. So 2026-02 is the appendix, which is where all the information is. It's not on the website. I hope you guys will withhold the vote until it has been on the website. Now I'm going to be told, of course, as often I am, that the resolution does not need to be posted ahead of time, but that is nonsense. It is perhaps legal, but it is definitely unethical and in violation of the spirit, particularly of such a small township, where we all claim to be neighbors, to essentially change our laws and change the way we do things under the cover of night. Because frankly, I've never seen this discussed, and I have some questions about how this resolution was even arrived at, for it to be sneaked in here like this. So my understanding of how this works is that you guys have not seen this resolution yet. You haven't talked about it. There have not been no emails about it. Certainly, if you want RTKs to occur less often, there will certainly have to, this is the sort of thing that invites RTKs, for us to spring up a resolution on us in the middle of the night like this. So that's a huge problem. There are two 2026-02s in the agenda up for vote today. I think that's a problem, and again, another reason to table this one, in my opinion. Tim, I want to take you up to task for what you said at the last meeting. Someone came up and said that they hoped that politics would not be discussed at our township meeting, and you agreed. You said, I agree with that. I think that's a good idea. We are here to talk politics. That's why we are here. That's why we come. We're not here to talk about how many genders are there, and what is the, how many angels dance on the head of a pin. We're here to talk politics. And the concern I have, and the concern many have, the concern you just heard from Dan, is that the politics of our township are not being reflected in our leadership. And it's a major problem.
So Renan, I'll address the resolution. So the intent was to post the appendix, obviously, to the resolution. It'll be my recommendation to the board to table it. So you know, I was directed to do this, I think, back in December at a public meeting. So this has been, I think it was on the agenda, maybe on 2 agendas so far. And finally, the appendix, which is the right to know policy and procedures, is taken largely from the model that's from the OOR. So when we take it up again next month, we'll make sure it's on the website and you can compare that with the OOR's policy.
Thank you.
Next.
So I got 2 questions for Tim. And you said last month that there was no illegal things identified with the right to know. And I want to ask you 2 questions. And if you answer these questions, I won't bring up these issues again. And it's got to be yes or no. Was the employment agreement to bar the amendment paying the Social Security, was that legal or illegal?
As far as I know, it was legal, yes.
And the health care insurance that you took, was that legal or illegal?
That was legal.
Okay. So let's go back to the past couple of years where I was cut off at 30 seconds and other residents were allowed to speak. That's well documented in recordings that we've had. So, here I was in April, I think it was April, where I overspoke my time. And what happened, transpired, is I had a policeman come to my house. They followed up with a phone call. And there was actually someone, the resident here, saying that I left to get a gun or something. And one of my questions is to Chief Lash, and maybe you can answer this, Chief. Do you think that the Northern Regional needs to set a policy on how to handle if one of the supervisors asks you to send policemen to someone's house for a resolution at the township, knowing that they weren't following the law themselves on that? Do you think that you guys were within your right to come to my house and have a policeman there?
I'm willing to have that conversation with you, but not in a public format. It seems to be a waste of time tonight, seeing that you only have 3 minutes. So if you'd like to have that conversation at some point, I'd be happy to.
Well, is that something that you'd consider as coming up with a policy? Because,
We don't need a policy.
well, there is a conflict of interest because you're funded through the township. So it's not like the state police, right? It's not like a lot of other police forces. You're funded by them. So you have, you have to keep them happy because you're getting money from them. And that's just the way it works. Anybody knows that. You're not independent, right, with these guys here.
We are independent.
Well, I don't agree with that. I don't think that's true.
That's fine.
So, now we talk about the shredding of documents. There's tons of conversations with Judy. Emails can't be found beyond 2020 back. Permits, zoning decisions. We got properties with 2 houses on their lots that never went through approval process. How is that okay? And we just sit here and act like business as usual. We have this employee that got this extra money for Social Security. They're the ones shredding documents. What is going on here, guys?
Thank you.
We forget about that. So a question to you,
Your time's up.
I'm asking you a question.
Okay.
So what do we think about that? How do we know that that's not going on today? We don't have documents.
You just stated 5 different things. I don't have answers for all 5, and
Do you have any answers?
not tonight because your time's up. Thank you.
All right, who else?
Yes.
Hello, my name is David Rowland. I'm from the Looney Farm, and we get brought up in a lot of these meetings, so I just want to address some of the concerns and some of the rumors that were in the last couple meetings. I can't attend all the meetings, but I appreciate Lori for recording them so I can see them from other countries or other areas that we're in. You know, when I moved to Heidelberg, I didn't know what a township was. I didn't know there were all these meetings. You know, there was no phone directory, no welcoming committee. We're kind of learning this as we go. But I do want to address some rumors that were brought up in the last zoning committee meeting that I was on the phone with, and then in the last township meeting. We're not building an amusement park. I never said we were. It was never on the website. We launched the website primarily because my wife and I do a random acts of kindness that some of you guys may have seen around town, where I like the 3D print, my wife loves to crochet, and we like to give little gifts out. Our plan for the vision, and our plan and the vision for the farm has never changed. We worked with Chris from Hanover Land Services when I bought the farm in June of 2024. I worked with Mike Hartman from H&H from day one, so nothing's changed. We're absolutely not running a business. I retired when I was 40. I don't want to work again. I've been retired for the last 11 years. We lived on the boat for the last 10 years. We travel a lot, so we're not here all the time. Most of the time we're not here in the winter, but my boat got hit, so I had to come back. We're not charging for tandem rides on the ultralights. That was another question that was brought up. We were actually not able to for the FAA rules. And we don't need the money. Another question was brought up about donations. Did I donate to the firehouse? Yes, I did. I donated $300 and a gift basket to the Porter's Firehouse. I also donated $300 and a gift basket to Jefferson Firehouse. I donated $1,300 to Jefferson Carnival as well too. It's not even our township because they asked. I mean, I raised over $500 in donations to the Spring Grove High School. This is all in 2024. And we donate, I have a house in Guatemala, so we donate a lot of money down there as well too. And the reason why we do that is because the fire departments are very important, and the police department is very important. And I do believe in donating back into the causes. And I tell you, we had an incident on January 22nd. It wasn't at our farm, but I got a call. I was in Florida at the time with our other house. And I got a call from Amber from Jefferson saying, hey, your farm's on fire, you might want to check that out. And the guy, Jason, that lives on the property all full time, I talked to him, and they were out there immediately. Jefferson was out there immediately. There's a brush fire, my next door neighbor. They used my lawn, so I'll be more than glad to donate them in the future. In 2026, we want to donate a lot more money. That's what we want to give back to the community. And but if you have any questions, we're on. I know my time's up. But we're on Facebook, Instagram, through the website next door. You can definitely get a hold of us at any time.
Thank you.
Dave, you said a lot of things you weren't doing that were rumors, but you aren't telling us what you are doing.
I did. In the last zoning committee meeting,
We
Chris
got cut
presented.
off.
On the
Oh, it
zone?
wasn't in zoning.
It's
Was
on
it
the
zoning or
video.
planning?
The zoning.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and Lori recorded it, and Chris presented the whole. I was on the call. I was on the phone. I was in a meeting, but Chris presented it, and I watched it. Lori had it
Because
recorded.
you say there's gonna be so much more coming that
It's all in the meeting.
it's all in that one? I wouldn't know.
You have a question?
It's on the YouTube. Yeah.
So you keep bringing up, you're not charging a fee, but the zoning ordinance doesn't talk about a fee as regard to what can be allowed as an airstrip or a racetrack. It doesn't matter. that you-
No, that's. I was accused of they want to think I'm running a business or I'm taking money on the side or.
I don't know.
That was in previous recordings.
Okay, thanks. Next. Yes.
Hi, my name is Lori Van Tassel. I live on Cannery Road, 6826 Cannery. I'm primarily focused here on under recreation. You now want the solicitor to draft an ordinance to repeal the recreation board. Why was the recreation board convened? Why was it created? understand it, that's not quite what the ordinance says. And as I understand it, the ordinance is primarily focused on doing events for the community. And there are many community members who have been coming to these meetings for 2 years. We just spent 1 year with a chairman and a vice chairman who would not let anything pass forward. They came with nothing on their agenda, but they made sure that Vicki Seneff, one of the founders of the Cadorus Blast, which made hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably over $1 million, to the park. We have in our own rec park board, we have her on the board. Now you want to pay Schultes to get rid of that. Why? I don't see anybody coming forward and think this is outrageous. You've got a rec park board that, what? The public is trying to involve themselves in this park. And you are making sure that an NGO, some totally non-public organization is going to make money, although they never did make money, now they make money, but now we won't be able to see what that money is. We won't be able to come to public meetings for that. So why are you doing that? The public is fully against this. And I just don't even know what you're thinking. You paid to have this created, and now you're gonna pay to have it gotten away with. It's just bizarre.
And then you're gonna have to pay for a right to know to get an answer.
Right. Do your job. Let Vicki do what she knows how to do. Please.
Can I ask you a question? So when you were at these, I never went to one right, but you're saying that there were people on the board that prevented the board from
Yes. Yes. Watch the videos.
Why would they do that?
Why would they do that? I don't know. First, we need more details.
You've answered the question.
Vicki
Your
wrote the
time is up.
details, and then they said, "Oh, this is too complicated. We don't have all this time to do this."
All right, you've answered the question.
That is what happened.
Next.
Lori, I have a question. Have you been to all the meetings?
Yes.
Does the rec board need to have any input on a 501c3 of any part?
No.
Okay. Do they need to have any input on the rec board?
No.
And
Right,
they
the two can work
Two different
totally
entities? Okay.
separately.
Thank you.
It doesn't need, you don't need to have the 501c3 work with the board, the park board.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity to speak. My name is Cindy Wilmot. I live on Smith Station Road in Heidelberg Township. I've lived there for over 30 years. And I am Dan's wife that spoke first. And I would like to say I really want to do one of those paragliders sometime. We love watching them. They're wonderful. I'm kind of an outsider looking in. I hear about this, but I don't typically come. I've been to a couple of meetings. I would like to just emphasize that my husband's view of all this is the kids first. Let's think about the kids first, and let's think about the community first. That's his heart. I know that. I've known that for almost 50 years now. The last two meetings of the rec board have been canceled. I don't know if that, and I'm giving you some transparency because you touched on transparency. You may not even be aware of this. You should be. But the last two meetings of the rec board were canceled by the rec board chairman. That's my understanding. I don't know the rec board chairman. I'm just communicating that information to you. There has been zero consultation with the rec board by the current chairman about those cancellations. There is scuttlebutt that a couple of the men were put on the rec board in order to represent other interests. And so I think that some of the things Lori was talking about, she would have certainly more knowledge about than I would. I'm just trying to put this very clearly to the folks that are here so they can understand what some of the concerns are about our item number 12 on the agenda, the consideration for authorization to have a solicitor draft an ordinance and the discussion and continuation of future rec board meetings. If the rec board isn't meeting, they can't be effective. If they don't have effective leadership, they cannot be effective. You have people in the township who are willing to do this. I have a husband with a degree in recreational leadership who has coached and taught for years and years and years. He knows this township better than most of you because he drives it every single day. You're walking in, he's going, that guy's on my route, that guy lives over here, that guy lives over here. So I would encourage you to listen to the people in the township. They care about the township, obviously they love it or they wouldn't live here. So that's all I have to say about that.
Mike?
I'll keep it short. For anyone that doesn't know, I am the chairman of the rec board, and I did cancel the last 2 meetings. And I'll stay after if anybody wants to know why. I'll be more than happy to talk to them about it, if anybody has any questions. And as far as you guys working for the public, I'm pretty sure you've done a pretty good job of it, because the room's not full. And I think you know that when there's a problem, the room's full. You were elected by the majority of the people. And the majority of the people don't come to these meetings because you guys are doing a fine job. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Next. Yes, Mayor.
Hi, Meg Powell, Porter's Road. I know that there were several folks who sent in emails, and I wanted to, after the last Board of Supervisors meeting, in response to your call for them, I will be reading the email that I sent to Judy after last month's meeting, and I will also be reading part of a statement from a resident who will remain anonymous to avoid negative blowback from a cadre of folks here. My email reads, "Hi Judy. I support the supervisors in a decision to dissolve the rec board. While I understand the purpose this board was intended to serve, truth must be told that over the past 2 years it has not. The HTRA charity is fully capable of serving many functions for Heidelberg Parks, residents, and community. Our successful fundraiser was just the beginning of our capabilities. We look forward to working with the BOS and the community for the betterment of our parks and recreation. As history for those who will undoubtedly seek to disparage the HTRA, the charity has been standing ready since 2020, when the supervisors directed Trent Funt to revive the board. For 2 years, Mr. King stood in our way. For the next 2 years, we waited patiently while Manager Krebs settled in, squared other issues, and eventually saw to establishing the rec board. And for the past 2 years, we've worked with the revolving door of rec board members despite numerous indignities perpetrated against the charity and our members by certain of your rec board appointees. I have hope that with the dissolution of the rec board, our charity can fulfill our role as was intended in 2022, when the BOS voted to instruct the office manager to work with Sandy Stein and myself on park planning and improvement. This wasn't in the email, but it was Barb Krebs's idea to start the rec board, the municipal rec board. We look forward to working with you. Regards, Meg Powell. Now, part of a statement from another resident who volunteered at our cornhole event, who wrote, "Anyone who's attended the rec board meetings over the past year and a half or so knows how dysfunctional this board has been from the day they were formed, and continue to be today. A combination of the difficulty in managing the manner in which the rec board must make their recommendations to the BOS, as well as the less than cooperative behavior of some members of the board and members of the audience have caused the rec board, as it exists now, to be unable to make any reasonable progress forward.
Thank you.
Question for Meg?
Question?
I'm
Hey,
not,
Meg,
yeah,
can you list some of these indignities that you have suffered?
sure, after the meeting.
Yep.
My wife was brave enough to answer questions in public.
Next question.
Matt, you've indicated Paul is an obstacle.
Yes.
And there's actually two members, it's a two-person vote, where you have three people. How is Paul an obstacle? We've had.
Happy to talk about it after the meeting.
That's it, okay.
Not in public.
Not in public.
Who's next? Yes?
Alright, Allie Hoffred. So I don't know much about any of this. I won't pretend to. I work in healthcare. This is not my field. But what I will say. Sorry. I could talk louder. Can y'all hear me? Okay.
Do both.
Okay, so my thing is, and Mike brought up the point of clearly people must be happy or else they would all be here. Well, a lot of people don't really know, granted knowledge is out there that they could come if they want to, most people don't see the point. Why don't they see the point? What have you guys really done? People ask questions every single time that they are here, and y'all sit up there, smug as heck, waiting for those 2 minutes to be up so you can be like, all right, your time's up, and never actually answer a single question. So people are gonna be unhappy. You're starting to get more people. I've been coming here for about a year now, and I'm seeing more and more people start to speak up because they are unhappy. So clearly at some point, something's got to change. I'm not quite sure what it is, but something's gotta give at some point. Otherwise, you're gonna continue to see more and more unhappy people here.
Anybody else? Yes.
My name is Vicki. Hello, my name is Vicki Sennett, and I live on Tanner Drive. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Matt and Tim, and it was Paul at the time, for giving us an opportunity to work at the Rec Park Board. I had been asking about a Rec Park Board for over 3 years, and I thank you because it did give the community a place to come and speak about the things that they want to change, as the survey showed that the office helped us facilitate. I personally had brought events to you gentlemen, and Matt and Tim voted no about the egg hunt and the Family Fun Day, and also our Fall Harvest Day, which was at no expense to the township. So I do disagree with Mike as far as that nothing got done. There was a lot of dialogue between the community and the township as far as us to facilitate things that the community really wanted. Over 300 people came to our egg hunt that we did privately that was paid for by businesses in our community. So that just shows our community does want the things that you did have Mr. Schultz do for an ordinance for the Rec Park Board. I think it's very important that the Rec Park Board and the 501c3 work together hand in hand. You have a team of people that can work with the public, get some ideas, get some things going, which we were planning to do. And then you have your 501c3 that can make a lot of money, and you can make money at all the events, which is, I clearly laid out once the people on Mike and Justin asked for it to be clearly done, and that was all laid out. So I just ask you, as of Dan, I feel myself as very qualified to do the events at the Rec Park. That park, compared to what the Cadora State Park for the Cadora Splash was, is a very minute area to facilitate a community event. Like the egg hunt that we did in less than 10 days and had over 300 people show up. And the children and the families loved it. This is what this is all about. If you understand, all this politics and fighting aside, it's for the kids. We have families in our community, our taxes did go up again. People are struggling. Free events at our, I mean, Travis, you have 8 children. I mean, 9 children, excuse me, I forgot. 9 children. I mean, that's expensive if you go somewhere with your kids, but to have our community park, that you come alongside our families, the elderly people, for them to come and watch families in a community that they grew up and love, that's all we're asking for. The whole political thing aside, it's about the kids, it's about the family. That's why I volunteer. That's why Dan's volunteering, and we spend a lot of hours doing these things. I just ask you if you would just reconsider, give us a chance. Mike did cancel the meetings when we asked to still have them in majority, but I'm hoping that we can move forward and do something different for our community.
I don't know any of this, so this is a totally resident question. What I'm hearing you say is that you can bring money into the township through events at the park.
Yes,
As opposed to, and maybe even take care of all the expenses of the park.
Yes.
As opposed to us being taxed to
Exactly.
maintain a park.
When I came onto the rec park board, I made a pledge that any event that we had, Dan also agreed with this pledge, we would guarantee it would not cost the taxpayers any money. Every event that I came to the board with, I was called to have a budget, but I had sponsors from different people, like the Rollins, different businesses in our community, my business. We fit the whole bill. It didn't, just like the 300 egg hunt that we did, we had games, we had prizes. Every child left with several prizes. No child left besides our eggs. There was golden eggs, there was pink eggs, there was all kinds of prizes. We had volunteers that set up the top.
Thank you. Please answer the questions.
Sorry.
So, 2 things, because I wasn't really involved last year at all. So, you had the egg hunt at the park?
Yes.
Okay.
We rented the park.
Okay.
Yes.
You had
I mean,
to rent-
we went to them and it was denied. So then privately, a group of us got together and privately put on a community egg hunt.
And that wasn't at the park?
Yes, it was at the park, but we didn't go through the township. It wasn't through the rec park board because the board of supervisors voted no. So we just.
They had to rent
park.
the park. You had to rent.
Yeah, we had to rent the park, buy our own insurance, and then, so community members did that. We rented the park and paid.
So instead of them saying no, you sound like you're more successful without them. So.
But the thing of it is speaking with other townships, I've met with different leaders of townships. The township has an insurance policy for public events. That's why anybody can just go up to the park. Doing everything through the park, it also looks good for the township too. It brings the community together, rather than just having one business or one entity trying to do it. When you do a community venture, it makes your community stronger. So other communities, that's how it's done, speaking to their managers and to their board of supervisors. So that's why you go there first.
Why'd they turn you down? What would be
You would
the
have,
reason?
I don't know, I was very surprised. It wasn't costing the township, and that's something you'd have to ask them, but I don't have an answer for that, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Vicki, so the egg hunt was an event by Paul King, right?
Well, no, it was community members. It wasn't by Paul King.
And he solicited donations from local businesses, right?
No, he didn't, I did.
Yes, he did.
Well,
Excuse me.
I solicited, I can't speak for what Mr. King brought to the table for that kind of stuff. He took care of the insurance, so how he paid for that, I'm sorry, I can't answer that. I can tell you what I paid, had gotten solicited from businesses, and we had some private donations of people that wanted to help that paid for all the gifts and things for the children, the eggs. And we had senior citizens volunteer and do all the eggs.
So I know of at least 3 businesses who wrote checks directly to Paul King.
I can't answer that. I don't know.
Excuse me.
I can't
They
speak
wrote
to
checks
that.
directly to Paul King for that.
I don't
And
know.
then my question, and it seemed like, from what you said, there was not a lot of expenses. other than insurance and a few things.
No,
So
it was
my
a
question-
great deal of expense when you're buying prizes and toys for a
And
lot
so
of
my
kids.
question
It was
is-
$80 to do to pay the township and
Let's
insurance.
move on. Nick, you have a question?
I did have a question. Do you have any of the records of the receipts of
Yeah.
expenditures from that?
Oh, for the donations that we paid for, yes, yes.
Okay.
Did that money go back to the township, the proceeds?
We didn't do a fundraiser. We just had our expenditures
There were
and that's.
numerous donations to Paul King from businesses.
Meg, I don't know how else to English say this to you. That's something you're gonna have to talk with him. I wasn't involved in that. I'm sorry. I was not involved in that part of
All
it.
right.
Yes.
So this Paul King, isn't that like, who cares? We were able to
Are
raise.
you asking a question?
Is this normal that people would get checks and raise money for an event? I would get a check and give you money because this guy gave me money. It's not
Yes.
normal, right?
Yes.
That's normal.
If they want, which
Paul
we
King,
told
Tim
everyone.
Okay, the question was it
Yes.
normal? She said yes. Yes, Renan.
So when Paul King helped make this event happen, was this were numerous people involved? I know I offered to raise
Yes.
money for the event too.
Yes,
It-
Mr. King took care of the insurance. And so I can't speak to other, but as far as all the prizes and people bought prizes and stuff and dropped them off at my store, so it wasn't always that someone gave check. They called me and said, what do you need? We need plastic eggs, we need it, and they would drop them off. That's how.
Why do you think people are now asking these questions who've had no interest in raising
Next,
money?
in the back.
I don't know.
In the back, you have a question?
I have a comment. If this.
No comments. This is questions.
Okay,
Well,
then I'll make it a question. Vicki, if this were to go through a rec park, we wouldn't be having this conversation, am I correct? Because
Correct.
donations would be made
Through the donation form.
through this organization.
Well, the rec park board, actually did a donation form, so they could either do it through there, directly through that, or they can do it through the 501c3. So
I
then,
think, like you said, it's better it sounds like it's better to go through a rec board that
Yes.
our township has established, that we need to work together.
right,
And,
Okay, thank you. Yep.
yes, speak.
Was Paul handing out postcards at the event?
Mm-hmm. I did not see that at all. To my knowledge, he said it wouldn't be, this was not a ballot campaign, it was to do stuff for the kids. So if that happened, I had a group of people that were there.
Okay, we're gonna go one more question and then we'll move on.
So what you're saying, Vicki, is that you and Dan are very clearly capable of running the rec park and creating events if you quit having incompetent people sitting in your way.
Okay. Amen.
That's
Now,
it.
I have a
Next
question.
up.
Are you aware that there's a 501c3 that's raised thousands of dollars for rec park stuff?
Yeah,
Did the rec park board have to get involved in that financially in any way?
no.
Okay, so it's a separate entity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They haven't spoke,
Okay,
me
that-
as
that's fine,
secretary.
yeah, I just.
I'm the secretary on the rec
Okay.
park board, so I don't know that. Anything else?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to make sure I heard you correct. When you said that in the beginning that you'd be willing to work, the rec board would be willing to work with the 501c3, is that what you said?
Absolutely, yes, because at the meetings, I personally, because I've been on the rec park board for a year and a half.
Right.
I personally said that many times to them that we should be working together.
I think I was at a meeting where I'm pretty sure I remember hearing you saying the complete opposite, that you would not at all be willing to work with the 501c3.
No, that isn't true.
Yes.
The part that
That's good.
no,
That's
wait,
all.
no.
That's it.
When the rec park board, or excuse me, when the 501c3 will not show records, that's when I have a problem.
Did you ask to see any records?
Many times we asked, and it's on video, and never ever got any paperwork or whatsoever. That's my thing. If we can't be transparent and honest and upfront, I'm not gonna work with a group that I don't know what they're doing, because someone's gonna hold me
Okay.
accountable. That's-
One more question, and this will be done. Bob, or your comment. Thank you, Vicky.
I thought it could only be a
Thank you. Bob, you're going to do a comment.
Bob Stein.
Side button. Push the blue, maybe it died.
Bob Stein. Anyway, it's Bob Stein, up on Straw Acres Road. I've got a degree from Gettysburg College in Business Administration, as well as psychology. In 1963, I caddied for Arnold Palmer. I take care of 5 or 6 properties with leaf removal, snow removal, mowing grass, weed control. So those are some of my qualifications. I have an issue when people misspeak and say something is absolutely not true. It's on video, thank you, Laura, you could play this for the people maybe at the next meeting, where Vicky did say she was not gonna work with that group of people, period. She was emphatic about it, she pointed her finger at them, and that is what she said, and you have it on tape. The other thing I'd like to say is, it seems like some people over and over and over again bring up the same things, many of which there have already been right to knows on. I would make a suggestion, when you have that type of redundancy, meeting after meeting, that you consider that you're giving these people only 3 minutes, okay? So you got 10 meetings left after this meeting. So at the next meeting, if they want to talk about stuff that happened back in the early 1920s or whatever, that they've already gotten answers for, that cost the township $50,000, hello, everyone that wants to complain about taxes, instead of giving them 3 minutes, give them 30. Give them their full entitlement, let them bring up everything they want to bring up from the past. And then for the next 9 meetings after that, you guys will be able to get some business accomplished.
Question for Bob.
I would like to rebut with Mr. Stein.
And I have a question for Bob.
Mr. Stein, you need to really go back and look at the.
No, I don't need to do anything.
No, that's
Listen to
okay.
me.
Post
Because
it.
actually,
I'm gonna tell you,
All right,
I
that's
not
it.
only was at that meeting, I saw it,
You
and it's
people
on
are
video.
Post
not
the video.
meeting.
Post it.
It's on
Post it
video.
next door.
I will tell you what month it is and what year it is.
Do it.
Bob,
You changed your mind more times than anybody in this place.
Well, you certainly never do. You can't come up with anything new, so I'm assuming things are pretty
I
good.
speak my own mind.
Give us the time. Give us the time, Bob.
all right.
Is it still public comment?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
It doesn't work, Sandy.
The what?
I think it's dead.
It's dead.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Bring it up.
Bring it up. Sandy Stein, Heidelberg Township. I would like to comment on some of the things that were said concerning the rec board. My personal opinion is that it was doomed from the beginning. Because of the way it was set up, the board was governed by law, the municipal law, tethered to the supervisors for every decision. There's always a 30-day or more delay with every decision, and that's only if and when a motion got made on that board to be brought to the supervisors, which very rarely happened. And that was from the very beginning. There were and are good, capable people who could have made a difference, but due to circumstances beyond their control, were not allowed to. Then there were and are those who do not include honesty, respect, or compromise in their vocabulary. But the real problem is that they were just never allowed to conduct their business. There was always some insignificant squabble that had no valid reason to be even presented at a meeting. There should have never been a discussion. That was intentional. It was always meant to derail the board from conducting real business, and that will never end. The charity does not and will not subject ourselves to that. We will conduct our business as usual, although we want to and plan to work together with township officials. Some decisions we can make for ourselves, saving valuable time. Without the municipal board, there is no middleman. There again, saving valuable time. The personal vendettas go away and confrontations causing standoffs are eliminated. This board and group of volunteers who helped with the cornhole tournament, which we raised $18,500. We aren't looking back. We plan to move forward to continue to make a difference in our community.
Thanks, Sandy.
Sandy,
You're welcome.
Sandy, of the $18,000, how much of the money was donated? Like, private donations?
All right, any other comments tonight?
Of course.
Okay. Mick?
Nick Gentile, Iron Ridge Road. What I see, what good I see is there's a lot of passion in here. And that's a good thing.
You need to talk to them.
I can talk to whoever, you're not in charge.
The rule is bad.
I'm chairman, okay?
Well,
Yeah, you're
then
supposed
do
to
your job.
You're the truth, but you're not in charge of me.
No.
So, okay, I see a lot of passion. Dan's very passionate about the things with the kids and sports. I get that. But there's such a divide because people come here with their pitchforks and their ideas and their torches and they want to burn shit down. Well, stop. And that's why I need to turn around and look, because I can look you in the eye and say, stop. Just get it together and try to work together. A lot of people have good ideas, and please stop lying about what you did. I can talk and I can...
No, this is not right.
You're out of order.
He's out of order.
He's out of order.
So this is,
Okay.
I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna stop because that's the problem in this township, are people like this.
Finish.
No, I'm not.
Come on.
Mark.
Moving on.
I will say you wouldn't have me turn around on time.
I'd like to make the motion. I'd like to make a motion to approve the Board of Supervisors meeting minutes for the January reorganization. Do we hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And also make the motion to approve the January Board of Supervisors regular meeting minutes. Do we hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Communication statements of financial interest forms will be issued to public officials, public employees, committee and board members at their first meeting of 2026. Please note that they must be filed no later than May 1st, 2025 with the Township Secretary. Consideration of approval of park facilities agreement with Lumberjacks Lacrosse for the lacrosse field. Let's make that motion. Do we hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Make a motion to consider park facilities agreement with the Rockets Fast Pitch Softball Association for the 60-foot field from April 1st, 2026 to June 30, 2026. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Consideration of approval of park facilities agreement with the HTRA, the 501c3, for a community event on April 4, 2026, contingent upon proof of liability insurance. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Chris, are you doing the public safety? Okay. Well, we'd like to acknowledge receipt of the fire report. I'd like to make consideration of the approval for the Porter's Fire Department eligibility list. Is this a motion? Please put that on. I'd like to make the motion consideration of approval for the Porter's Fire Department eligibility list for the volunteer service credit program, ordinance 2023-01, for the following members based on the criteria from resolution 2023-06. Austin Dahl, Scott Ravenstein, Michael Summers, Dean Warner, and Robert Wilkes. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'd like to acknowledge receipt of the Wellspan EMS December report and Northern Regional Police report.
Thank you. In January, we handled 95 calls for service in the township, which included 11 crashes. We'll begin service in Spring Grove Borough as their police department on 1/1/2027. We continue to fill our ranks, and we're down, as of today, we're down to 1 vacancy. That's it.
I'd like to acknowledge receipt of the zoning activity report and code enforcement officer report. I'd like to make the motion to reappoint Phil Marks to the Planning Commission for a 4-year term ending December 31st, 2029. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'd like to make the motion to reappoint Andy Baru to the Zoning Hearing Board for a 3-year term ending December 31st, 2028. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to approve January's treasury report. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'd like to acknowledge receipt of the January bills paid report. Right to know requests, we received 6 and completed 2 in January. Year to date, 6 right to know requests. And I'd like to acknowledge the purchase of iPad for Supervisor Luckman in the amount of $335.99. That was done, instead of having a laptop like Matt and I have, he preferred an iPad. I'd like to acknowledge receipt of the road maintenance report. Make the motion that consideration for authorization for the solicitor to draft an ordinance lowering speed on Porter's Road from 35 miles per hour to 25, approximately 1/2 mile north of Browns Road to Toman Road per PennDOT speed limit permit 8-4-3047. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have a question about that.
Yes.
So it drops down to 35 just before the fire hall, and then it's gonna drop down to 25 after Bowman.
It's gonna drop the speed limit sign out here outside of the fire hall to 25, and then down by Browns Road.
Okay,
is where it's
thank you.
gonna drop.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm sorry, is there a way to move the 35 back, or is there a requirement from, like, when it changes from 35 to 25? Because it's 45 back that way, right? So you're going 45, you're hitting 35, and then like 10 feet later, you're gonna hit 25. Should we push 35 back, or can we legally?
It's a state road.
Yeah.
We're just doing the section in 3/4 at 25.
The answer is I don't think we can do that because it's a state road. Yeah.
What is the reason for dropping it down to 25 miles an hour?
We've had some requests, the residents of Porters to,
It is a state road. I live along a state road. I've tried to get the speed limit lowered, and no one seems to want to help on the other side of 116 anywhere.
you asking us to contact PennDOT for a study?
PennDOT study ain't gonna do nothing till people die. It's gonna be pretty soon, with the trail being open, that people will get killed when traffic comes down through Jacobsville Road.
We can submit a study if you prefer.
Do it, whatever, you're gonna have to do something sooner or later with that trail going through there.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. Jacobs Mill. Yes.
There's a lot of motorcycle crashes in the area here. There's a lot of blind spots and hills where driveways now. Has the township gone through and actually looked at the roads to see if there's other things or other signs we could put up with sharp turns or lowering speeds at peaks where, you know, a motorcycle should be aware of versus, because I know that's widespread in Pennsylvania, and I don't think we've ever really looked at that. I know our roads are the same.
Yeah, Mark, do you have any specific areas that you, I mean, just any areas of direct focus?
I couldn't come with some specific areas.
That would be helpful. Be more glad to accept that and look at it and look into signage.
Okay.
When I had requested a study being done on Hawk Road and Smith Station, did they actually do a study? Or
Yes.
did they just turn you down?
They did this, it was a study, and they denied the request for a stop sign.
Officer Lash, is there a way to get a number of accidents in the past year or two at that intersection?
Yeah, if the board requests it, we do that.
Which intersection again?
Smith Station and Hawk, there's been a lot of accidents here. That line here, they pop up above it. I've been guilty of it myself when I first moved here. And all of a sudden, you've got the crossroad of Hawk Road, and there's been some pretty bad accidents.
Okay.
I think you can probably get a quick one from Chris.
Okay, we'll do that.
Can you do that, Officer Lash?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
While you're at a list of accidents, can we get one for Porters and 116?
They've done that one too, and they will not do it.
What?
They've done that one too, and they will not do it, like 3 times. We've had them out 3 times.
At least 3 times. You have a question?
Yeah, for Chief Lash, if you have this data in CSV format, we can plot it onto a map using GIS and, you know, that there's.
I have my own mapping software.
Sure, so we'd be, you know, I think what would be most informative would be if people don't, rather than people complaining, it'd be interesting to know what the hotspots are.
Yep, was there another, yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a mention that with Jefferson having that new development, that 116 and that road is, Porters is gonna get horrible, so it might be something that we have to reevaluate. I live on Hoff Road, Officer Lash. I had asked, I think we need somebody to come out there and monitor the speed that these cars are going. Yeah. It is very bad. I had asked, before, and, I think we should have somebody come out and maybe start taking a look at that. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
I wanna add to that, I've been passed twice on that road.
Which road?
Hawk Road. And right in front of, like, someone passed me on a double.
Wow.
Twice. I was doing speed limit. It's
You
bad.
you can email or contact the department on the non-emergency number.
I called 911 and they just kept me on the line and
You can call the non-emergency direct number to the department, let a message, an officer will call you. The biggest thing with speed enforcement is they need a place to sit. And if your driveway's open, that would be nice, but not everybody likes to have
My
a,
driveway's open.
that you have to let them know that, so they know where to go.
Okay. Yes, Vicki?
So when they are changing, through
reporters from 35 to 25. So how do they actually enforce that? Because I have already talked to some of the other police officers, like Southwestern used to do it. They actually sat at the store, and with the alley that we own, they would tuck in there that they couldn't see, and they would get them. But we haven't had anybody from Northern do that, but we're willing to let them use that to slow it down there at the tracks. But I was curious to what they do when the changeover happens to like wake people up that it's a change.
Well, we're gonna have to see what the signs look like and where they're posted. By state law, we cannot enforce a change in the speed limit within 500 feet of that change. So if the sign's posted out here at the intersection, we have to give the first 500 feet by law. We cannot enforce a speed limit within that area.
That's good to know.
Where it's a change.
Okay. Yes, Bob?
Just a quick comment, since we're talking about dangerous intersections. At the end of Orfield Road, where it intersects Smith Station, the property on the right, on that corner, has a bush that obstructs anybody trying to pull out. You almost have to pull clear out into the one lane to see if anything's coming and hope you don't get hit from the other direction. It's just a matter of get a chainsaw and cut it off.
Yeah, I know that area is bad. Ben, maybe that's something you can look at. If it's on township property, we probably can cut it down. We've done that in other intersections, but I know right where you mean. And if you guys want to write down your concerns on traffic, speeding, whatever traffic related, please email the township and we'll make sure that it gets sent to Northern Regional. And if you request a traffic study, we can do the traffic study, so put that in an email as well. And we'll go forward and see if we can get traffic studies done. Yes?
Just a quick question, is that costly to our township to get these studies from the
I
state?
don't think it
I
costs
didn't think
anything.
it was, but I wanted to.
No, doesn't cost.
I didn't think so, thank you, sir.
Yeah?
It's on Hawk Road too, where they grow the Hawk Road is Smith Station, that intersection. When they do the corn, it comes out to the road so far, you almost have to pull out on the Smith Station.
Yeah.
See it around.
Yeah. Okay.
Chief Rash, do you think maybe sometime when the weather gets a little nicer, it'd be worthwhile parking the board speed limit thing up there, possibly?
Sure.
I don't know if that's actually considered a study, but, for how you do that, but I've seen it around.
Unfortunately, all the surrounding townships are increasing population rapidly, and we sit right in the middle. And they come right through. That's both 116, Old Hanover Road, Porter's Road is incredibly busy. And you're right, it's gonna get more busy when they put those condos in Jefferson. It's just gonna get worse. But at least we don't have the condos here. You know? All right, we'll move on. Let's see. Now, I'd like to acknowledge receipt of the engineer report. I'd like to make the motion to consider to approve the change order for Middle Road from C.S. Davison in the amount of $7,975.44. Do we hear a second? Yeah.
Tim, you want to explain that?
Yeah.
That $7,000 was because of unexpected, stuff that happened out on Mill Road, that they ran into issues as far as jackhammer and rock out, and extra pipe and material that they needed to fill in for holes that wasn't accounted for.
Most of this is
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to approve the final AFP for Mill Road. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Recreation,
Sandy wants to say something.
oh, Sandy, are you gonna speak?
Yeah, I just want to give a brief update. Sandy Stein, HCRA Charity. I'm here tonight pleased to announce our event schedule for the first half of 2026. We are planning 3 types of events: informational, community fun, and fundraising. The first event will be informational. We will be hosting a meeting to listen to and collect input from the community. It will be held here at Porter's Fire Hall on February 26th at 6:30 p.m. We invite the community to come and share their ideas, ask questions, and see some of our ideas concerning possible additions to the playground. We look forward to gathering community input and promoting ways for residents to get involved. The second event is a community fun event we would like to hold at the park. We have requested and you have approved the use of the park on April 4th to host a spring festival. This event will be free to the public and include many kid-friendly games for all ages, an egg hunt with 3H divisions, prizes, and more. We plan to have a variety of vendors, including face painting, character drawings, and family photo booth, and of course, food trucks. The third event is another fundraiser to be held May 17th here at Porter's Fire Hall. We will be hosting a champagne brunch followed by a trivia competition. While we can't expect to match the results of our first event, this family-friendly event will have great food and great fun for all. We have an enthusiastic charity board and lots of great help, but we're always looking for good people to join our team. If interested, you can see any board member or volunteer for contact information. So again, the calendar dates are the public meeting here at Porter's, February 26th at 6:30.
24.
24, sorry. The Spring Festival on April 4th at the park, and the brunch with the trivia here at the Fire Hall on May 17th. Both events with time to be determined. We're very excited to be building our organization into a valuable asset for the Heidelberg Township community, and thank everyone for their support.
Thank you, Sandy.
Sandy, how did you get the dates passed? They didn't need to be,
I filled out an application.
so you're paying, you're renting
Yes,
the areas where these meetings are happening?
yes.
Okay.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to authorize to have the solicitor draft an ordinance repealing the recreation board. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Discussion on continuation of future rec board meetings. I'd like to make the motion that, I guess we're looking for a cancellation here of the future rec board meetings. I'd like to make that motion.
I make a motion that we cancel any further meetings of the Heidelberg Township Rec Board.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Terrible.
Okay, water. One past due water bill for quarter 4 for 2025. And with that, turn it over to our solicitor.
Thank you. Okay, several traffic ordinances to consider. The first traffic ordinance is ordinance number 2026-01. It's an ordinance establishing maximum speed limits on certain streets and changing speed limits. The ordinance is self-explanatory in terms of the number of streets that are being added and or changed. Does the board have any questions regarding the ordinance itself?
I do not.
I do not.
So the action item is a motion to adopt ordinance number 2026-01.
I'd like to make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The second ordinance, again, a traffic ordinance, is ordinance number 2026-02, establishing a restricted vehicle limitation on Cannery Road. This ordinance restricts vehicles over 25 feet in length or any combination of those vehicles. It does, as we've talked about at the last meeting, contain an exception that is for school buses, emergency vehicles, vehicles making local deliveries and pickups, and importantly, vehicles owned or operated by persons residing on Cannery Road are exempted from the restriction.
I'd like to make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 The third traffic ordinance is ordinance number 2026-03. This ordinance adds a stop sign at High Rock Road West at the intersection of High Rock Road West and High Rock Road North. Sorely needed.
I'd like to make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next on the agenda is the debt ordinance. So this relates to the road project at Laurel Woods Lane and High Rock Road. This ordinance is pursuant to the Local Government Unit Debt Act. It authorizes the township to incur an indebtedness in the amount of $497,000 for that road project. So the action item is a motion to approve.
I'd like to make that motion.
Oh, let me finish.
Oh,
Ordinance number 2026-04. And then we need to take a roll call vote. Okay.
Yeah, so I make the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
And then I call out for the roll call vote. Travis, do you vote in favor or against ordinance 2026-04?
Vote in favor of ordinance 2026-04.
Matt, do you vote in favor?
I vote in favor of ordinance 2026-04.
And I, Tim Hansen, vote in favor of ordinance 2026-04.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is resolution 2026-02, the right to know law, policies, and procedures. As we stated in the beginning, inadvertently, the actual policy was not posted to the website, so we should give consideration for folks to review that before you take action. So it might be appropriate to make a motion to table resolution 2026-02 to your March meeting.
I'd like to make that motion to table resolution number 2026-02. Do I hear a second? All in favor? Aye.
And finally, an announcement regarding the agricultural security area. The township received an application for an addition to an agricultural security area submitted by W.C. Myers Family Farms LP. The property address is 6509 Old Hanover Road, Hanover, PA. The York County parcel number is 30-000-EB-0084.DD. It comprises approximately 84 acres. This will now go through a process of advertisement and public hearings. The first thing that we need to do when we receive this is to advertise and post the notice that we received. So the action item is a motion to authorize me to advertise the proposal and authorize the township staff to post the notice in accordance with the agricultural area security law.
I'd like to make that motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you.
W.C. Myers Farm.
Next up, Travis.
So, what I have on my agenda here, I talked to Ben a little bit and Judy when we had got the forecast for that snow last week and asked if we had an ordinance for a snow emergency, which we do, and it was enacted in, is it 2005 or 2001? 05. So basically, Ben and I talked over a couple things, and we just would like to amend a few pieces of the ordinance. Anything you want to chime in on, Ben?
So we had a complaint about a mailbox getting hit. I did look at it through PennDOT's website, and with the snow that physically hits a mailbox, we are not responsible for it. If we physically hit the mailbox with our snowplow trucks, we, the drivers and the township, are responsible for repairing and replacing your mailbox. So I wanted to make that clear and put that on there as an ordinance, so nobody had any questions.
Right. So this is just basically just something where if you live more so in a smaller developments and cul-de-sacs, you know, we got a big snow, don't park along the curb so plows can come through and get everything moved back and taken care of. Do you have anything particular on here that you wanted to change in this ordinance? Do we want to go over that, or do we have to?
Nothing particular, just wanted to add about the mailbox issues. That way we don't get complaints about stuff that we can't.
One thing I wanted to change here, where in the beginning it says the roadmaster, or in his absence, the chairman. I thought maybe we just make that the manager, since you two are side by side in there most of the time and can.
Yeah, that's fine. I guess we'll need, next meeting we'll have a motion to revise the ordinance. So maybe the best thing to do is kind of put a list together for Tim.
Yeah, I wrote a couple.
Oh, you have it?
A couple little notes in there.
So then, next meeting, we'll direct the solicitor to generate the ordinance, and then the next meeting, we'll pass it or fail it.
Ben, I know you said about making it all township roads. The only thing that I would say possibly where I might not totally agree to that is we will have to sign, maybe put signage up for anywhere we would want to try to enforce that, so. Like Charlie Road, you know, in those sense, but some of our other township roads.
Okay.
So we need to make a motion to have Tim.
No, the process will be that the next meeting, we can make the motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. That's all I had, thank you. Thanks to everybody else that went out there and helped get the roads cleaned up.
Yeah, and I'd like to just thank the crew. All right. Upcoming meetings.
Planning commission got canceled today.
Okay. Planning commission meeting was canceled due to lack of business. Rec board meeting is canceled. Water committee, February 25, 2026, 5:30 p.m. at the Township Building. Zoning hearing board meeting's canceled. And the next board of supervisors regular scheduled meeting is March 4th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at the fire hall. And with that, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.